I mean, you can see they're putting the hard work in. We were talking about this earlier on. I think it was Ryan thinks they're the best coach team in the Premier League. Ryan works on our team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're certainly... When I look at the way that they play, they're quite pragmatic, Brentford. There's an identity to the way they play. It's quite direct, but wow, it's a handful to play against. I mean, their front... Well, it's a front two, but it could be three because you put Visser in there as well. But Ivan Toney and Buemo, them two, they work hard, they run. I think Ivan Toney's clearly a better footballer. He's brilliant with his back to goal, can obviously score goals, could take a penalty as he saw last night. But they're so direct. Every time, it's almost like a third man run. The ball will go up, someone will set the ball, and then it's just over the top. That is what they do. Spin it in behind, make the defenders face their own goal. Incredibly hard to play against. They all work hard. And as Ryan was saying there, they're so well coached that, I mean, Arsenal went there and absolutely annihilated them at the start of the season, 3-0. But it's an incredibly difficult place to go and get a result, as you boys found out. Once they get their tails up, you have to match their intensity, their work rate, their physicality. It's easier said than done.
You mentioned Ivan Toney there. With what's hanging over his head at the moment, is it right that Thomas Frank picks him? Should he be playing? Is it difficult to take to the field when you've got stuff like that hanging over you?
Yeah, I'm sure he's thinking about it. How can he not? Because he's expecting the ban. But at the end of the day, if whatever's gone on off the field, if the Football Association or the Premier League say that he shouldn't be playing, then they've got to make that decision. But if you're Thomas Frank and you've got a player there that, yes, we know he's broke the rules, we don't quite know the extent of what's going to come. But if you've got him there and he's available to pick him, how can you leave him out?
Yeah, I sort of think a ban's coming.
Yeah.
So you know you're going to lose him. So
you might as well get every last drop out of him.
Yeah, why take him out now? I agree with you. And also, his penalties. What was that last night? He's 10 out of 10 in the Prem and 22 out of 22 to Brentford.
That's the first time in a long time I've seen the goalkeeper actually go the right way.
Yeah, got close to it.
But he's not just a goal scorer. Almost like he was good last year, but he's gone to another level this year. I think he's behind Harry Kane in terms of the centre-forward role. I do. I think he's now gone back past probably Callum Wilson, whose form hasn't been what it was certainly before the World Cup. But yeah, he's playing fantastically well.
Those 3 points, they put him on 38 points. Now 39 is 7th place Fulham, ironically, at the moment.
But do you know what's great? And sorry to interrupt you.
No, go on.
I think Marco Silva and Thomas Frank deserve a lot of credit. But we have all season, people have waxed lyrical about Newcastle, and Brentford are 3 points behind, by the way.
Yeah, that's a very good point,
But both of them... Not even both of them. Them, Fulham and Brighton could all go past Newcastle if the results go their way.
Do you think football fans would have a problem, not Brentford, Brighton and Fulham fans, but seeing those teams representing the Premier League in Europe? Would football fans mind if Brentford, Brighton and Fulham were playing European football?
No, why not?
I don't know. Some people talk about the coefficient. Some people... If you're talking about those... Would you have a problem with Brentford getting into the Champions League?
No, because if they've earned it, I'm quite looking forward to it. It's like, you know what it's like? Leicester. So when Leicester win the Premier League, they win in the Champions League. Yeah, I was quite excited to see how Leicester got on in the Champions League. And sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of variety, something different, rather than the same teams, as long as it's Arsenal, in the Champions League every single year. Yeah. Obviously embrace it.
We're talking about Thomas Frank. We're also talking about, do you want to see sides like Brentford, Brighton and Fulham in Europe? 03717 223344 is the number that John, the Arsenal fan, has called us up on. Hello, John. Good afternoon.
Good morning, gents. Actually, it's morning here in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
How you doing, gents? You're all keeping well?
Yeah, good. John, do you work in an office?
No, not at all. I'm an estate agent, actually.
Oh, okay. What do you make of people working in an office, taking their shoes off, walking around on the carpet?
I agree 100% with Benty. I think that's vile, actually.
Disgusting. Go on there, John. You're an Arsenal fan. You've phoned up. Talk about Thomas Frank, have you?
Yeah, the reason why is because, a lot of people would say, why bother calling up for a Brentford manager? But I absolutely love the style of play that Brentford play, the resources that he has, and I just love the relationship he has with the fans, with the team, and they play a bloody good football. They play a really nice brand of football.
Do you know what, John?
And then the thing is, when you're talking about him going to Chelsea or Spurs, why would he take a step down? I mean, that would be a massive step down for his career, especially with Spurs overbooking Beyonce and
I read that this morning.
and then concentrating about like getting the Formula One mini kart racing. They're not a football club. They're a corporation. Let Thomas Frank go to stay with Brentford, take him into Europe, just like when Fulham made it to the Europa or UEFA final not long ago. It's nice to see that.
Yeah, it would be nice to see that. It's quite funny. I know John saying there, step down Spurs, but it is a risk for the club. But for Thomas Frank, at some stage, of course, he's going to want to, and Marco Silva the same. When you want to become a manager, when you want to become a professional footballer, or in any industry, walk of life, you're trying to get as high as you can get to.
Yeah.
Now, this is no disrespect to Brentfords and Fulhams, but there are bigger clubs than these clubs. So, of course, Thomas Frank is doing everything he can to make sure he's ready. So when that next step comes, he's ready to take it.
John, thank you for your call. It's very kind of you to speak to Barry. He's a Fulham fan. Hello, Barry. How are you?
How you doing, guys? You all right?
We're good. Very well. How are you on the back of that game last night?
A bit disappointed, but it was always going to be a tough one. But honours even this season. We beat them at our place, so can't be close to 3 points at their place.
No. Go on then, Baz. What are you phoned up for?
Well, it's just to remind you, Andy, that in Europe before Fulham got there in 2010, 4 minutes away from a penalty shootout. So, and the love that Fulham got from all of the clubs, in the Prem at that time, about achieving the Europa League final was just fantastic. So, I think people love to see English clubs do well, and it's nice to see some of the smaller clubs there.
Barry, was that the run where you beat Juventus? Yeah,
beat Juventus, then beat. I can't remember where it was the final, but beat Hamburg, beat the home club in the semi, and then went to their place and unfortunately lost against Atletico in the extra time.
Did you have Danny Murphy in your side then?
Oh yes, but he was suspended, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Clint Dempsey.
Yeah,
he got a red, give someone a good shooting.
What's a great finish for Fulham this season? You're 7th. Do you think you can finish higher than that?
Well, I think so, and I think if you look at the games we've lost, I know Bentley will go on about Arsenal, but we were late in the game there, could have taken a point, late goal against City. So I think we worked it out. If we'd have kept clean sheets, we'd have been 4, maybe 5 points better off. But that's the way the game goes, isn't it? You've got to defend for the 90 and plus minutes.
Baz, thanks for coming on. What do you make of people in the workplace without shoes on, walking about the office with their socks on?
Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Tread on their toes, mate.
I'll try. Thanks, Barry. Have a lovely afternoon.
Cheers. And you, mate.
Thanks, man. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. No. Why do people do it? I might stop someone when I see. Maybe they could, because we've got speakers out in the office. Maybe they're sitting at the desk going, oh no, why is he picking on me?
Or they just put their foot under the desk slowly and just try to slide their foot.
Although, hold on, having said that, you take one foot out all the time.
Just in there. I never go out there, do I?
Oh, but you're still here?
No, yeah, but it's fine, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, one rule for one. All footballers, I'm telling you that. There you go. One's off at the moment.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.